Imagine this. You're pouring your heart out, doing everything you can to be there for someone, and yet they shrug it off. They don't call you back. They dismiss your struggles. They treat your presence as if it's insignificant. It hurts, doesn't it? Feeling like you don't matter to someone you care about is one of the most crushing experiences. But what if I told you that their behavior isn't random, that there are clear signs that reveal they simply don't care? This video will expose the behaviors of people who truly don't value you. By the end, you'll not only spot these signs, but also understand how to protect your heart and your dignity. So if you're tired of being treated like an afterthought, stay with me until the end. And before we dive deeper, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel for more life-changing insights. Let's uncover the truth together. 1. They're consistently unavailable when you need them. Picture this. You're in a moment of crisis, feeling like the walls are closing in, and you reach out to someone you thought you could rely on. But instead of showing up, they hit you with the usual excuses. I'm busy. Something came up. Or worse, silence. And then, later on, they casually tell you they forgot. Forgotten? How can someone forget to be there for you when you need them the most? It's like your struggles don't even register on their radar. But let's take it further. Imagine you've always been there for them. You've dropped everything, work, plans, even your peace of mind, just to make sure they're okay. You've stayed up late comforting them, rearranged your schedule to support them, and gone above and beyond to show them they're not alone. Yet when the tables turn, their absence is deafening. They disappear into their world, conveniently too busy to even acknowledge your pain. This isn't just a lack of consideration. It's a glaring sign of where you truly stand in their life. Because here's the truth. When someone cares, they make time. They don't let excuses define their actions. Being busy doesn't stop someone who values you. They'll find a way to be there, even if it's just a short message, a quick check-in, or the smallest gesture to let you know they care. What's worse is how this pattern slowly chips away at your self-worth. You start questioning yourself. Am I asking for too much? Is it my fault for needing support? Let me stop you right there. It's not your fault. Real relationships, whether friendships, family, or romantic, are built on reciprocity. It's a two-way street. When someone is consistently unavailable, they're showing you with their actions, loud and clear, that you are not a priority in their life. And here's the extreme part. It's not just neglect. It's a form of emotional betrayal. They've let you down in moments that matter, and those are the moments that define true relationships. Because when everything is going well, it's easy to stick around. But when life throws challenges, the people who care about you show up. And if someone can't show up for you in your darkest hours, they don't deserve to stand beside you in your brightest ones. Ask yourself this. How long will you keep tolerating being an option in someone's life when you've been treating them like a priority? If someone's behavior consistently leaves you feeling unsupported, it's time to take a step back. Protect your heart, value your energy, and most importantly, recognize that you deserve people in your life who will never make you question their care. 2. They disregard your feelings. Have you ever found yourself sitting across from someone, pouring your heart out, exposing your deepest fears, frustrations, or vulnerabilities, only for them to dismiss everything you're feeling? They hit you with a cold, "You're overreacting," or maybe an indifferent, "It's not that serious." In that moment, you feel a jarring sense of invalidation, like your emotions are unworthy of acknowledgement. It stings, doesn't it? And it leaves you questioning, do they even care about me? But let's dive deeper into what's really happening here. When someone disregards your feelings, they're not just being inconsiderate, they're actively undermining your emotional reality. They make you feel like you're the problem for even expressing yourself. That pain you're experiencing. Suddenly it's labeled as dramatic or an overreaction. And this is where it gets extreme. It's not just neglect, it's a form of emotional sabotage. By brushing off your emotions, they're sending a clear message. Your feelings don't matter to me. And what's even more damaging is how this chips away at your self-esteem. Over time, you begin doubting yourself. You start thinking, maybe I'm too sensitive, or maybe I should just keep it to myself next time. Slowly but surely, they silence your voice, and you stop expressing yourself altogether. That's not just indifference, it's toxic. Now think about someone who truly cares about you. When you share your emotions with them, they listen. They validate what you're feeling, even if they don't completely understand it. Why? Because they respect your perspective. They know that your feelings, whether rational or not, are real to you. That's what care looks like. But people who disregard your feelings, they'll take the opposite route. They'll minimize your pain because it's inconvenient for them. They'll avoid difficult conversations because it's easier to make you feel too much than to deal with the discomfort of your emotions. And let's not sugarcoat it. This behavior is selfish. It's a blatant sign that their comfort is more important to them than your emotional well-being. Here's the extreme truth. Invalidating your emotions isn't just hurtful, it's manipulative. It creates a power dynamic where they're always right and you're always too much. They become the judge of what's worth feeling, and in their eyes, you're guilty of caring too deeply. But let me tell you something, there's no such thing as caring too much. Feeling deeply is a strength, not a flaw. Ask yourself this: do you really want to keep sharing your heart with someone who treats it like it's disposable? Someone who refuses to acknowledge your struggles, your happiness, or your pain? Because the truth is, your feelings do matter. They matter a lot. And anyone who minimizes them is revealing their indifference in the clearest way possible. It's time to protect your emotional energy. Don't let someone else's coldness make you question your worth. Surround yourself with people who see your emotions as a window into your soul, not an inconvenience to brush aside. Because you deserve more than someone who disregards your feelings. You deserve someone who listens, understands, and cares. 3. They only contact you when they need something. Let's get real for a moment. Have you ever noticed how some people suddenly appear in your life when they need something? Maybe it's a favor, some advice, or even emotional support. At first, you might not think much of it. You're happy to help because that's just who you are, kind, dependable, and always willing to be there for the people you care about. But then it starts to hit you. When the tables are turned and you need them, they're nowhere to be found. This isn't just a coincidence, it's a pattern. These people operate on convenience. They treat you like a tool, something they can pick up and use whenever it suits them. Need a ride? They call you. Need help with a project? They text you. Need someone to vent to? They show up unannounced. But when you reach out, when you're feeling lonely, overwhelmed, or in need of support, it's radio silence. No response, no effort, nothing. Now here's where it gets extreme. This isn't just a lack of reciprocity, it's emotional exploitation. They're not in your life because they care about you. They're in your life because they care about what you can do for them. It's selfishness at its core, and it's one of the clearest signs that they're in the relationship for themselves, not you. Let's paint an even clearer picture. Imagine this person has come to you countless times for help, and every time you've stepped up, whether it's sacrificing your time, energy, or even money to make sure they're okay. But now you're struggling. You need someone to lean on. You muster up the courage to reach out, hoping they'll be there for you like you've always been for them. And what do you get? Excuses, indifference, or worse, complete avoidance. That's not just hurtful, It's soul-crushing. The emotional toll of this one-sided dynamic is overwhelming. It leaves you feeling drained, used, and unappreciated. You start questioning yourself. Am I asking for too much? Am I not worth their time? Let me stop you right there. This isn't about you. This is about them, their selfishness, their lack of empathy, and their inability to value genuine connection. People who only contact you when they need something are not your friends, your family, or your support system. They're takers, and takers will keep taking as long as you let them. They'll never stop to think about the emotional damage they're causing because their focus is solely on their own needs. Here's the truth. Real relationships are built on mutual care and effort. They're about showing up for each other, not just when it's convenient, but when it's necessary. If someone is only present in your life when they stand to gain something, they don't see you as a person. They see you as a resource. And that's not just unfair, it's dehumanizing. So what can you do? First, recognize the pattern. If someone's interactions with you are always one-sided, if they're always taking and never giving, it's time to set boundaries. Don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to protect your energy. And most importantly, don't let their selfishness make you question your worth. You deserve relationships where the care and effort are mutual. You deserve people who check on you just to see how you're doing, who show up for you without expecting anything in return, and who value you for who you are, not what you can do for them. Because here's the bottom line. You're not a convenience. You're a person with feelings, needs, and immense value. And anyone who doesn't see that isn't worth your time. 4. They make you feel invisible in public settings. Let me ask you this. Have you ever been in a room full of people sitting right next to someone you care about, and yet you feel completely invisible? They act like you're not even there. When you speak, they ignore your words, cut you off mid-sentence, or worse, talk over you like your voice doesn't matter. It's not just humiliating, it's heartbreaking. Because in that moment, they're showing everyone in the room, including you, exactly how little they value your presence. Now, let's take it a step further. Imagine you're sharing an idea or opinion, and instead of listening, they dismiss it outright or belittle it in front of others. Maybe they roll their eyes or make a sarcastic remark that leaves you feeling small and unimportant. And here's where it gets extreme. This isn't just casual rudeness. It's a blatant display of disrespect. By diminishing you in public, they're making it clear that they don't see you as an equal, let alone someone worth honoring. Think about how this plays out over time. Every interruption, every dismissive comment, every moment they choose to talk down to you in front of others chips away at your confidence. You start doubting yourself. You hesitate to speak up, not just in public but even in private, because they've conditioned you to believe your words don't carry weight. That's not just neglect, it's emotional sabotage. Now compare this behavior to someone who truly cares about you. When you're in a group, they'll make space for your voice. They'll actively listen to what you have to say, validate your ideas, and ensure you feel seen and valued. They'll never let anyone interrupt or disrespect you because they respect and cherish your presence. That's what real care looks like. But when someone consistently makes you feel invisible in public, it reveals something much deeper. They don't value your contributions, and they don't respect you as a person. And here's the harsh truth. This behavior is often intentional. Why? Because some people feel the need to assert dominance or make themselves look better by diminishing others, even those they claim to care about. It's a power play disguised as indifference, and it's toxic to the core. Let's be real. How many more times will you let someone treat you like a background character in your own life? How many more times will you allow them to dismiss your ideas, mock your opinions, or ignore your existence in front of others? Because every time it happens, They're not just disrespecting you, they're showing everyone else that it's okay to do the same. Here's the extreme truth. Someone who cares about you will never make you feel small to elevate themselves. They'll never ignore you to gain the approval of others. Instead, they'll amplify your voice, celebrate your strengths, and ensure that you feel valued no matter the setting. So the next time you find yourself feeling invisible in public because of someone's behavior, take a step back and reassess. Is this someone who truly values and respects you? Or are they revealing, through their actions, that they don't care? Remember this: you deserve to be surrounded by people who uplift you, who make you feel seen, and who honor your presence in every setting. Don't let anyone dim your light just because they're afraid of your shine. Your voice matters, your presence matters, and the right people will make sure you never have to question that. 5. They never apologize or take accountability. Have you ever been hurt by someone close to you, and when you muster up the courage to tell them how you feel, they completely shut it down? Instead of acknowledging what they did, they either deflect the blame, twist the story to make it your fault, or act like nothing happened at all. You're left standing there, feeling not only hurt, but also invalidated, like your pain doesn't even register on their radar. This behavior isn't just frustrating, it's deeply damaging. When someone refuses to apologize or take accountability, they're sending a loud and clear message: your feelings don't matter enough for me to address. And that's not just carelessness. It's a complete disregard for the relationship and your emotional well-being. Imagine they cross a major boundary. Maybe they say something cruel in an argument, betray your trust, or let you down in a way that cuts deep. You confront them, not out of anger, but because you value the relationship and want to move forward. Instead of owning up to their actions, they dismiss your concerns with phrases like, "You're overreacting," "I didn't mean it that way," or worse, "Why are you making this such a big deal?" And here's the kicker. They don't just refuse to apologize, they double down. They act like they're the victim, turning the situation around until you're the one apologizing. They'll use manipulation, gaslighting, and even silence to avoid taking responsibility. It's like their ego is too fragile to admit they made a mistake, so they protect themselves at the expense of your feelings. This isn't just selfish, it's toxic. A person who truly cares about you will understand that no relationship is perfect. They'll know that mistakes happen, and when they do, the right thing to do is own up to it. Apologizing isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength, humility, and love. It's saying, "I see how I hurt you, and I'm willing to make it right." But someone who refuses to apologize, they're prioritizing their pride over your pain. They'd rather protect their image than protect the relationship. And over time, this pattern erodes trust, respect, and emotional safety. You start feeling like your concerns are a burden, like you're walking on eggshells just to avoid triggering their defensiveness. And let's be real, how can you feel secure with someone who never takes accountability? Relationships, whether romantic, platonic, or familial, require mutual effort and the willingness to face hard truths. If they're always right in their eyes, it leaves no room for growth, healing, or understanding. Think about it this way. If someone refuses to apologize, they're essentially saying they're above making mistakes. They're saying that your hurt isn't valid enough for them to humble themselves. That's not care, that's arrogance. Here's the extreme truth. Apologies are the foundation of any meaningful relationship. They're how we rebuild trust after it's been broken, how we show respect for each other's feelings, and how we grow together. When someone refuses to apologize, they're choosing their ego over the relationship. And if they're unwilling to make that effort, it's a sign that their care for you is conditional, if it even exists at all. So ask yourself this: How long will you keep tolerating behavior that makes you feel invisible, unheard, and invalidated? How long will you allow someone to treat your pain like it's irrelevant? Because the truth is, you deserve better. You deserve relationships where accountability isn't a chore, but a natural part of showing love and respect. Remember this: the people who care about you will apologize when they're wrong. They'll take responsibility for their actions because they value the connection more than their pride. And those who don't, they're showing you with their actions that your feelings don't matter enough for them to change. You deserve better. Don't settle for less. 6. They gossip about you behind your back. Let's face it, trust is one of the most precious elements in any relationship. It's the foundation that holds everything together. But when someone gossips about you behind your back, that foundation crumbles. The betrayal is more than hurtful. It's devastating. Because when you confide in someone, when you open up and share your secrets, your vulnerabilities, or even just your private thoughts, you expect those things to stay sacred. So when they don't, it feels like the ultimate act of disrespect. Now, imagine this. You've trusted someone with something personal, something you wouldn't share with just anyone. Maybe it's a struggle you're facing, a mistake you've made, or even your dreams and aspirations. Then one day, you hear your own words coming out of someone else's mouth. The story is twisted, exaggerated, or worse, used against you, and the person you trusted. They're the one who handed over the ammunition. How does that feel? It's not just a breach of trust. It's a direct attack on your dignity. But it doesn't stop there. When someone gossips about you, they're not just sharing your secrets. They're damaging your reputation. They're planting seeds of doubt and negativity in the minds of others, often to make themselves look better in comparison. And here's where it gets extreme. This behavior is calculated. It's intentional. They know exactly what they're doing, and they don't care how it impacts you. Let's break this down further. Real friends, real loved ones, they protect you even when you're not around. They stand up for you in your absence, and they guard your secrets like they're their own. Why? Because they value you, they respect you, and they understand that loyalty isn't just about what you do in someone's presence. It's about how you honor them when they're not there. But people who gossip about you, they lack that respect. They see your trust as an opportunity to gain attention or validation from others. Maybe they're insecure and need to tear you down to feel better about themselves. Or maybe they're just indifferent to how their words affect you. Either way, their actions reveal one undeniable truth. They don't care about you. And let's not sugarcoat this. Gossip isn't harmless. It's toxic. It creates an environment of mistrust and animosity. It isolates you, makes you question your worth, and forces you to second-guess everyone around you. Over time, it chips away at your confidence and leaves you feeling exposed and vulnerable. Now, let's flip the script. Imagine someone who truly cares about you. When they hear others speaking negatively about you, they shut it down. They defend you. They come to you directly if there's an issue instead of spreading rumors or lies. That's what real care looks like. Loyalty in its purest form. So, what does it say about someone who chooses to gossip instead? It says they lack loyalty, they lack integrity, and most importantly, they lack the emotional capacity to value you as a person. This isn't just a red flag. It's a glaring warning sign that they're not worth your trust, time, or energy. Here's the harsh truth. If someone is willing to betray you behind your back, they'll do it again and again. Gossip isn't a one-time mistake. It's a pattern of behavior that stems from a deep lack of care and respect, and you deserve better than that. So, the next time you catch wind of someone gossiping about you, don't let it slide. Don't make excuses for their behavior or convince yourself it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. It's a clear indication of who they are and how little they value you. Remember this: the people who care about you will never put you in a position where you have to question their loyalty. They'll protect you, honor your trust, and uplift you even when you're not around. And those who gossip, they're showing you exactly where they stand, and it's nowhere near your corner. Walk away from people who betray your trust. Surround yourself with those who celebrate you, defend you, and prove through their actions that they're in your life for the right reasons. Because you deserve relationships built on respect, not betrayal. 7. They show no interest in your life. Let me ask you, have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling empty, like you were just there to be someone's audience? They went on and on about their day, their problems, their achievements, and their opinions. But when it was your turn to speak, the energy shifted. Maybe they checked their phone, glanced around the room, or gave you a half-hearted nod that screamed, "I'm not listening." This isn't just frustrating. It's a glaring sign of how little they value you. Because when someone truly cares about you, they're curious about your life. They want to know what you're going through, what excites you, what challenges you're facing. But when someone shows no interest in your life, it's like they're telling you, "Your world doesn't matter to me." Let's take this to an extreme level. Imagine a friend or a loved one who constantly comes to you with their problems. They pour their heart out, expecting you to listen, comfort them, and maybe even help solve their issues. And you do it because you care. But when the tables turn, when you're the one who needs to talk, they're suddenly too busy. Or worse, they brush off your concerns with dismissive comments like, "You'll figure it out," or "It's not that bad." And here's where it gets even more toxic. Some of these people don't just ignore your life. They use your vulnerabilities as a way to elevate themselves. If you share a struggle, they'll twist the conversation back to their own experiences, as if their problems are more significant than yours. It's like they're in a constant competition, and your life is nothing more than a footnote to their story. This behavior is more than selfish. It's emotionally draining. Over time, it creates a one-sided dynamic where you're always giving and never receiving. You start to feel like your thoughts, feelings, and experiences aren't worth sharing, like they don't matter. And that's not just neglect. It's a lack of basic respect. Let's flip the perspective. Think about someone who genuinely cares about you. When they talk to you, they ask questions, real questions. They want to know how you're doing, what's new in your life, and how they can support you. And they don't just listen, they engage. They remember the things you tell them and bring them up later, showing you that your life matters to them. That's what care looks like. Now compare that to someone who dominates every conversation, who never pauses to ask, "How are you?" It's not just that they're self-absorbed, it's that they've made a choice. They've chosen to focus on themselves at the expense of the relationship. And that choice speaks volumes about how much or how little they value you. Here's the harsh reality. If someone consistently shows no interest in your life, they're telling you exactly where you stand with them, and it's nowhere near the priority list. They might keep you around for convenience, for attention, or for what you can offer them, but they're not in your life because they genuinely care about you. So, what do? First, stop making excuses for their behavior. Don't tell yourself they're just busy or distracted. Care doesn't take a lot of time. It just takes intention. A quick message, a thoughtful question, or even a few moments of genuine attention are enough to show someone they matter. If they're not doing even that, it's because they don't want to. Second, start prioritizing relationships that are mutual. Look for people who make you feel seen, heard, and valued. People who light up when you share good news and support you when times are tough. Because the truth is, you deserve more than one-sided conversations and superficial connections. You deserve people who are just as invested in your life as you are in theirs. And finally, remember this: true care is active. It's shown through curiosity, attention, and effort. If someone isn't showing interest in your life, they're showing you the limits of their care. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Surround yourself with people who prove through their actions that your life matters, because it does. As we conclude, if any of these behaviors hit home, it's time to take a step back and reassess the relationship. You deserve to be surrounded by people who see your worth, value your emotions, and make you feel cared for. Don't waste your energy chasing after someone who's already showing you they don't care. Remember, your time, love, and attention are precious. Give them to those who earn it, not those who take it for granted. If this message resonated with you, give this video a like and subscribe for more content that empowers and inspires. Share this with someone who might need it. They deserve to hear this too. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care of yourself.